Good morning, Charlie Wall here. Welcome back to my Friday question of the week. I am just gonna give it a second so that I can put this in my group, and then hopefully it will share there. If you're on in the meantime, say hello. I'm hoping little Emma, yes, she's there. Hi, Emma. Welcome. So, it's Friday. I think I probably already said that. I have been absolutely back to back with clients, and normally I like to do this a bit earlier in the morning. And I did a little poll in my group to see when the best time to do these lives was, and most people were like, well, we don't really care because we'll watch the replay anyway, so that's fine. Hi, Caroline. If you're on, just give me a wave, say hello. It's lovely to see you here. And I apologize because I normally like to at least kind of get a bit more grounded. And hi, Anna. Get a bit more grounded and like really tune in to what's going to come through. And I've got no notes. I've been talking to 3 clients this morning. I have been out for my dog walk. It's a beautiful day here. I don't know what it's like where you are. So I'm a bit like, oh. And also I still get very nervous about doing these live videos. But anyways, we're here. So Caroline's going to watch while she washes up. Great. I won't show you what my kitchen looks like over that way. So this week's question I got was about loneliness, and the question said, how do I deal with loneliness? And I thought this might be a good one to discuss on the live, because I'm wondering how many of you feel lonely. And I'm wondering if there's a difference for you between being alone and feeling lonely. And the lady who asked the question said, when I'm around people, I feel a deep sense of loneliness. And I don't want to name the woman, and she might be watching this at some point later today, but I guess if any of that resonates with you, say something in the comments so that I know I'm on the right track. Because my answer was to her that actually I don't feel a sense of loneliness anymore. So Emma said, sadly raises hand. For me, I enjoy being alone. Lonely is so different. So does that mean you enjoy being alone and you don't feel lonely when you're alone? Because for me, I really enjoy being alone. And certainly over the last year, I have spent a lot of time on my own. A lot. And before that, when I was running the boot camp business and I was looking after my dad, and so I was surrounded by people because of the business that I ran, and I love that, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love being surrounded by people, but I'm also, as much as I love people, I think I'm a bit of an introvert as well, and I really like my own time, but I just didn't know that I liked my own time. I was frightened of it. I was frightened of being alone. But because I had my son at home and was with my father a lot, I always had people around. And I think my role as a mother for the 18 years, well, he's 18 now, my son, he left home last year to go into Corfu. It was just a few days before his 17th birthday. Oh God, can you hear me? I've just realised that I'm such a muppet. Can you hear me, or could you not hear me? Sorry. I told you I was really flustered. You probably didn't even hear that, right? So I was completely flustered. I've just realised I have my headphones in. And can you hear me? Can you say, yes, I can hear you or something, so I know that I'm not such a total muppet? I am a total muppet, but it's okay. I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm a muppet. I'm fine. My tribe, you know, like attracts like, right? So I'm hoping I'm with fellow muppets. Muppets are a good thing. Anyway, so hopefully you can hear me better now. I'm gonna watch this back and go, oh, you are a muppet. Anyway, so yeah, when my son left home last year, my father had just died, and I was suddenly alone, like actually in every sense alone. I sold the business, I sold my house, my son had gone, my father had gone, my sister's in Edinburgh with her children. And it was it was something that I'd craved for a long time when I didn't have it. And when I got it, I was suddenly like, I'm actually alone. What do I do? I'm not a mother anymore. Well, I am a mother, but, you know, in the sense of having to kind of be aware and conscious 24/7 of where he is, his safety, the school runs, all of that, cooking every day, the whole shebang. And when our children leave and grow up, as a woman, like my role completely changed, and also as a carer for my father. And you know, I went from being a carer, not even a daughter, I don't think. The relationship completely changed, and a mother to just me again. And I hadn't been just me, woman me, since I was 21. And even at 21, I was a big sister. You know, I had sort of different labels. I was a big sister to my brother and sister, and I was a daughter to my parents. And you know, you know, so I wasn't alone. I was at university, surrounded again by people. So yeah, last year I would say it was the first time I was on my own, and where I'd really craved kind of just that time and something I wasn't used to. And I think I believed at that point initially that I was lonely, even when I was surrounded by people, because I didn't feel heard, I didn't feel understood. And I think actually it was because I wasn't listening to my own soul and I wasn't understanding myself. And because my son had, you know, I perceived, my thought was, I've lost my son as well. And so because my theme for me in my life has been loss, I projected this whole I'm alone, everyone leaves me kind of vibe. And that just wasn't the truth. That wasn't the truth. And so my answer to the lady that asked the question about loneliness was that I don't feel lonely, and I enjoy being on my own. I didn't realise quite how much, and I think I perhaps isolated myself quite a lot, but that's okay because I needed to do that, because in the midst of the post-traumatic stress, my senses were overwhelmed. So noise was difficult for me, being around people was difficult for me. I still don't watch the TV, but all of that, like for years, there was a disconnect in my life. And because I felt lonely around people and lonely in myself and disconnected from myself, what I did was I believed that if I got drunk, then that would help ease the loneliness or the boredom that some of us feel as certainly single parents. Or if I ate something, or binge watch a film, or bought this dress that I've seen, or something outside of me that would make me feel connected again. And what I learned last year was, in a deep, deep spiritual way, that I'm not alone and we're never alone. And I felt after my dad died very strongly that I was being supported, I was being loved, I was being guided. And that sense of knowing, deep knowing, carried me through the months that I spent alone last year. And I heard today, I just want to see if I can find it, but I heard today a poem that I posted in our group, She Connects, when I was saying I was going to do this, and I never give much notice, and I'm going to have to change that because I need to get more organised. But this poem, if you want to look it up, is by Hafiz, and it's a lovely poem. And if those of you that are watching who are in the She Connects group, that's what I use. But it's called A Cushion for Your Head, and I just want to read it and just listen to the words, listen for a feeling. Just sit there right now, don't do a thing, just rest. For your separation from God, from love, is the hardest work in this world. Let me bring you trays of food and something that you like to drink. You can use my soft words as a cushion for your head. And in that poem, for your separation from God, from love, is the hardest work in this world. Now, God, in the religious sense, is not something, I don't go to church or anything like that, but I do believe in source energy, spirit energy. I do believe that we're all connected. So God can have many connotations, and I think I don't want to get into that religious thing because there's so many people who have religious beliefs and stuff, and that's fine. I respect all of that. But I do believe in that sense that when we feel separate, that's when we feel alone. And our ego wants us to feel separate and keeps us stuck and keeps us not shining into the women that we are underneath all the crap that we tell ourselves. And the feeling of loneliness is a thought, and it's what we make of that thought. It's what we make it mean about us. And I find when I do the work with my clients that they make it mean that they're not good enough in some way to be loved. And I also think that's a reflection on how little we love ourselves as well. So I want you to know that you're never alone. That's why I created the She Connects group, so that you get a real sense of that. Because a lot of us do feel alone, and when we do feel alone, we feel like we can't be honest with anybody about what's going on for us. And you can be honest in the group, and you can be honest with me. I feel very blessed that the clients I have tell me things that they've never told anyone, and it's a huge honor. But it's such a relief for them to know that they're not alone and that they can be themselves, and that I'm not wanting anything from them. Because I think the other thing is, in life we have high expectations for ourselves that we've put on ourselves, and we act different roles, and it's exhausting. And feeling kind of depressed or anxious or lonely, all of those thoughts are energy coming through us, and if it's negative, we're going to feel exhausted, and it's going to compound the sense of loneliness. And again, it's what we make it mean. And my feeling as well, so this is a bit rambled, isn't it? But that our deepest core belief is that we're not going to deal with it, we're not going to cope with it, we're unlovable. And that's just not the truth. That's just not the truth of who you are. You were built to be resilient. You were built with innate well-being and mental health and love. That's it. You are loved. You are love, and you're not alone. So I can't see any comments coming through. So either you're thinking she's talking a load of BS or my computer's not working. But anyway, thank you to the people who have joined in to watch. If you want to ask me a question and for me to do it on this video, please just message me or post something in the group. We have loads of support in the group for you women. If you're not in there, it would be lovely to have you there. I have a client in 5 minutes, so I'm going to shoot off again, and I will see you next Friday for the next question of the week. In the meantime, you are enough. I've got you. We've got you. If you wanted to have a chat to me, let me know. I'm all for connection. I think that's where the juice is. That's where the magic is. And you're amazing. If no one's told you today, then I love you. Bye.